I was possessed for 3 weeks after buying an old house. A few months ago, I bought a house, and after I got the keys, I went on to do some work in it. Before buying it, I didn't sense anything particular about it. I knew it was old, it had history, but nothing really special. And one day I went on my own to mount some furniture. And while doing that, I felt all of a sudden that my crown opens, or something opens on top of my head, and my spirit starts to lift out of my body. I know this sensation very well because I'm a light worker. I do a lot of energy work, and I'm used to connecting spiritually and sometimes not being so grounded. When I work too much, when I channel, I can feel that my crown opens. I call it the cauliflower head, where I feel that everything opens up, and then I lift up a bit above my body. So that's one thing that really struck me, is that it was out of the blue, not even doing any spiritual work, and it was not even coming from me. I was doing a physical activity, and all of a sudden it happened to me. And that's what felt very, very strange. I felt a strong need to ground myself, so I went to drinking water, I tried to eat a little bit, I tried to pause, but whatever I was doing, it was getting worse and worse. I started to feel that I was coming out of my body. I started to feel dizzy. Then it went on to feeling nauseous, and I was not sure if I was going to throw up, but I was not in my full senses. Almost like as if I was getting drunk or high or something, as if I was in an altered state of being. It was the beginning of the heat. It was in south of France, so I thought maybe something is due to that. It could be my blood pressure, maybe it's me. Despite being very spiritual and working with energies, I'm also very medically aware, and I thought it could be something else. It was quite bad, to the point that I could not drive. I was not myself. I did the best that I could. Since I was alone, I had to go back home. Managed to go back. I tried to sleep it off. I came back home, it was 2 p.m. I stayed in bed the entire day till the next morning, 6 a.m. When I got up the next day, I felt a bit better, but still feeling almost hungover, slightly. I don't know what would be the right terms, because I had never experienced that. Even in the dizziness and the nausea, it was almost like as if I was getting seasick or motion sickness, but there was no real motion. It's not like things were spinning around me. Everything was normal, but I felt that I was almost, my own center of gravity was changing, and I was losing balance. My body kept tilting back, and it would make me dizzy. But I didn't feel like I was possessed. It didn't feel like there is another energy that is talking on my behalf, that is speaking instead of me. That was not happening to me. It was a lot more subtle. And I even wondered, was I getting COVID? Could I be possessed? Because that thing about not being in my body was it resonated with the first instance, where my crown opened, my spirit started to lift out of my body, and I was getting that constant sensation. But anyway, slept it off, felt better. Nothing happened for a week to 10 days. And after that, one day, I can't remember what triggered it, I woke up and bang, it was back times 10. I couldn't think clearly, and I was wondering, maybe it's my blood pressure, maybe I am sick. So I spoke to a doctor, and we started a battery of tests. I had to go and see an ENT that made some tests to see if it was my internal ear having issues. I went to do a medical checkup to see if everything was okay with me. I did some blood tests. Everything was perfectly normal. Even the ENT that I went to see was a very big specialist in the field. And when I was describing to him my symptoms, I'm going to give you the list of symptoms, he said it doesn't really make sense because there's nothing wrong with you, nothing. I was not losing any hearing capacity. My internal ear, all the crystals, everything was fine. So one thing that was strange to him, and I'll give it to you now, were my symptoms. My symptoms were tiredness, lack of clarity. I felt like my spirit was coming out of my body and staying there. So it was half in my body and half above, meaning that I was still in my body. I could still see the world around me, but the speed at which my brain was processing the information was not the usual speed. Even when I was driving, I was aware that I could see everything, but it was almost like my own ability to react was not the same, which made me feel powerless. I felt like I was not in my full senses, and it stayed on for another 10 days. For 10 days, I felt nauseous. I was not feeling good. I was feeling that I was out of my body. Every time I felt I was losing balance, and it started to affect me really. I had to cancel some of my appointments. I had to cancel my work. I thought, this is going to paralyze me. It's not going to work for me. What can I do? I felt a bit at a loss, but thankfully I'm well surrounded, and a friend of mine gave me an advice that you might not be able to do it alone. So look for healers, energy workers, someone who can help you with that. And this is what I've done. Some of my friends, we organized here an event, and everyone was there, and they started working on me. And while they were putting their hands around me, I felt like the energy inside of me was going crazy. It was jumping all over the place, trying to escape what was coming to it. We ended up removing the energy, but we had to do 3 different sessions over 3 days. Right away with the first one, I felt an instant drop back into my body, which felt great. I knew that it was not medical, it was more energetic. So that gave me a feeling of being back in my body, but it'd take another 2 more sessions to stop all the other little symptoms. And for the first time in my life, it taught me something very interesting. I have been channeling for hours and hours, doing sessions for clients. I am working with energies. Sometimes I protect myself. I know that I'm always protected. I teach protocols about how to protect yourself when you're going to do sessions, when you're working with other people's energy. But what this episode taught me is the fact that it had nothing to do with energy work. It was just an everyday, everyone kind of situation. And I thought, so anyone can be attacked or possessed or out of the blue by just being in a space or by resonating with something. Sometimes there are soul contracts also. That's what I felt with this one, because the way I got to own this house, it was very, very surprising, very strange. It was almost like all the odds were against us, and we still managed to buy the house. So that already gave me an indication that something was very special about it, and there was a purpose for me to have this house. So the soul contract felt very real and very intense. And after my friends did the sessions on me, I ended up connecting to the energy of the house, because the house, I had meditated on it before. It gave me a lot of information. It gave me its name. It gave me its energy. It gave me its vibe. I felt a lot of things. It was talking to me a lot already. But then I started to connect with the intention of connecting to that energy that was connecting to me. And it was really, really gross. It was a form of an entity, but it felt very hairy, almost like a spider, but it was not a spider. It was humanoid and spider kind of thing. At least that's how it was coming into my mind. And it took me a while to completely clean the house. So the house felt like as if it had no ground, like as if it was an empty hole with no end. And I had to work on filling it up completely from the ground. And while diminishing this energy, I felt a lot of indigo blue come into the house. So that went from a lot of dark and a lot of depth and emptiness. It went into being filled with a lot of golden light first, and then a lot of indigo blue that transformed the energy of the space. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit scared in the beginning to go back into the house because I didn't want that to happen to me again. And after I was completely healed and reconnected to myself, I went back to that place in bright daylight. It was around 40 degrees Celsius that day, and there was an owl on the facade of the building in the bright daylight. And I knew that I was being protected. I knew that there was something spiritually happening very strong with this house. So I took all the messages and I took it all in. But it taught me a lot of things. One, you can be attacked or possessed or hacked energetically by doing very random things. It's not just when you're connecting or channeling or willingly connecting with spirits. You have to be aware of it and don't be scared to go and see someone to cleanse you energetically, because at first it might seem crazy. And if I was not so spiritually connected, I would have never thought about doing energy work. I would have gone to medical tests and again and again and again. And of course, the medical field would not find anything. I was not surprised that all the doctors were saying, I'm sorry, everything's fine with you. Everything's fine with you. Till I went onto the energy route and got it cleared. The other lesson that it taught me is that it can affect fertility. And I'm going to do another video for my spirit baby messages, because when there are entities that take over, they take space. They can take space also around your reproductive area, which will parasite your ability to bring a baby into this world. So stay tuned for you to watch the next video, because I'm going to tell you more about it. But if you see this video and you're thinking that you might be possessed and the symptoms seem a bit similar, don't hesitate to go see someone. You can also come see me. This is what I do. I also speak to spirit babies. I speak to entities that may be attached to you. I can dislodge them. I can help you cleanse them. But it's a real thing, okay? And it's something that really can shift and change your life. I have heard of people who have had very similar symptoms and they stayed with it for 2 to 3 years, and then out of the blue it stops. But they had to live with it for 2 to 3 years, which to me seemed unbearable. I don't know how one can function. How can you continue functioning when you are so out of yourself? So yeah, I hope this message serves a purpose. I hope it helps you find certain answers, and feel free to reach out anytime for help. Bye.